The streets have turned into a gigantic garbage dump. Makeshift tents stretch endlessly, and thousands of people jostle on the sidewalks trying to survive each day. Welcome to Skid Row, one of the areas with the highest density of homelessness in the United States, existing right in the heart of the world's film capital, Los Angeles. It's hard to believe, but the homeless here are not only the unemployed and the poor workers, but also former entrepreneurs, graduates of prestigious universities, and even those with master's and doctoral degrees. So what has pushed them into a state of homelessness? Is it the expensive rent? Is the salary not keeping up with the cost of living? Or is it the social system itself that is contributing to the pressure on them? And even more alarming, if this trend continues and goes unchecked, Skid Row will no longer be an exception, but the future of all of Los Angeles. The truth is even worse than you think. Let's explore the homelessness crisis in Los Angeles, where the American dream is slowly turning into a nightmare. Los Angeles, the city of angels with the dazzling lights of Hollywood, is also the place with the highest number of homeless people in the United States. In just 10 years, the number of homeless people in Los Angeles has skyrocketed from 65,000 to over 75,000. Every hour that passes, hundreds of people continue to fall into homelessness, turning Los Angeles into an increasingly alarming crisis hotspot. You know, Beverly Hills, where the million-dollar mansions stand side by side, is only a few blocks away from Skid Row. But that distance feels like two opposing worlds. On one side, Hollywood stars enjoy a lavish lifestyle, while on the other, thousands of people crowd into makeshift tents, trying to survive each day. The streets have been turned into outdoor bedrooms, sidewalks into public restrooms, and daily meals depend on the kindness of strangers or volunteers. It is no longer a hidden corner, but a heartbreaking reality in the heart of one of the wealthiest cities in America. Even just 1 mile from the mayor's office, thousands of people still wander aimlessly, hopelessly in the heart of this city. This reality raises many questions. Can Los Angeles overcome this crisis? Or is this the stark picture of an American dream that is gradually fading? Los Angeles, worse than you think. One thing you would never expect is that having a master's degree also can be homeless. A person once worked in the field of data science, researched electricity, and even published several scientific papers, now has to live in a park near Los Angeles Airport. That is the story of Mona.
I've been here for about 5 months.
Just overnight, she lost both her home and her job. Mona used to have a stable life before the unfortunate event struck. Her house was burned down in the Thomas Fire, one of the largest wildfires in California's history.
My house burned down is part of the Thomas Fire, which at that time was the largest wildfire.
Even more heartbreaking, the master's degree could not save Mona from homelessness. She tries to find a job, but how can you keep a job when you don't have a home, no place to shower, no place to prepare for an interview? The city's support system is overwhelmed, and people like Mona are trapped in a vicious cycle of deadlock. This is not only happening to Mona, but also to thousands of other highly educated people who are falling into homelessness. If even educated people who once had good jobs cannot survive, is the American dream still a reality? What do you think about this situation? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to spread the message and seek solutions for a better future. Not stopping there, the residents of Los Angeles, who had already lost everything after the horrific wildfire, now have to endure another shock: skyrocketing rental prices. A house in Beverly Hills that used to rent for $14,000 a month suddenly increased by $4,000 overnight. And this is not an isolated case. Hundreds of families forced to relocate due to wildfires are now facing a surge in rental prices. Even more heartbreaking is that in the midst of thousands of people losing their homes due to natural disasters, the real estate market is taking advantage of the situation for profit. The high demand for housing has driven rental prices to unimaginable levels. causing many people to fall into despair, not knowing where to turn. Although the government has intervened, will it be effective? The governor of California has issued an order limiting price increases to no more than 10%. But many landlords still find ways to circumvent the law to profit from those with no other options. The question is Los Angeles still a livable place, or just a nightmare for those who are not millionaires? Can you imagine a neighborhood in the heart of one of the wealthiest cities in America, where over 4,000 people wander among trash, waste, and despair? Welcome to Skid Row, the giant trash can of Los Angeles, where the highest density of homelessness in the world can be found. Located right in the heart of Los Angeles, Skid Row is not just a neighborhood, it is another world. This is not just a shelter for the homeless, but also a place where alcoholics, the mentally ill, and others on the fringes of society exist. Using a stuffed bear as a pillow, 45-year-old Manuel Martinez sleeps on the sidewalks of Los Angeles day after day. He's from Mexico and has been an alcoholic for the past 10 years. On a street corner, you will see the tall buildings and the sparkling lights of Los Angeles. But just turn into Skid Row, and you step into a completely different reality, where sidewalks become homes, trash piles up, and people live in makeshift tents. They often have to rely on public restrooms or support points from charities and the government to maintain personal hygiene. Some places, like the Skid Row Community Refresh Spot, offer free showers, laundry, and hygiene services, giving them the opportunity to take care of themselves in difficult circumstances. In addition, volunteer groups also frequently organize mobile shower areas for the homeless. Few could imagine such a scene occurring in the 21st century in the largest city of California, a state with one of the most dynamic economies in the world. It is estimated that 1/3 of the homeless people here suffer from mental illness. But despite the difficult circumstances, they still set up tents together, drink coffee, chat, and are busy, going to receive food from charitable organizations. Because simply put, life also needs a schedule. Los Angeles has tried every way, but Skid Row is still there, like a symbol of the government's failure to address the homelessness crisis. What do you think about Skid Row? Can Los Angeles turn the situation around? Or will it forever remain the homeless capital of America? Please share your opinion below. Los Angeles cleans up the homeless by pushing them out to the desert. You heard it right. Just outside Los Angeles, where the dazzling lights of Hollywood are gradually fading, another world exists amidst dust and despair. Under the 110 degrees Fahrenheit, over 37 degrees Celsius sun, thousands of homeless people live in old, dilapidated RVs, makeshift tents, and tattered tarps. No clean water, no electricity, no toilets. They are forced to throw away trash and dump wastewater directly into the ground, turning this place into a huge garbage dump. Mr. Freddy, a resident, seemed only slightly uncomfortable with the 110 degrees Fahrenheit, about 37.7 degrees Celsius. "I don't have a car anymore, so I can't go get water myself," he said. "Someone brings me water once every 2 weeks." Pointing to his scaly and swollen legs beneath his black shorts, he added, "And I am also sick. They brought me medicine." Mayor Lancaster warns that Los Angeles may be quietly sweeping the homeless out of downtown ahead of the World Cup and the Olympics. Is this the city's solution to hide the increasingly out-of-control homelessness crisis? One of the most controversial measures is taking homeless people to the last subway station, where there are no support services. They are abandoned without any way out, an act no different from expelling them from the city center. In addition, many reports from human rights groups indicate that the police also escort homeless people to desolate areas, where they are completely isolated from society. So, is this a deliberate strategy to clean up the city, or just the consequence of an overloaded and helpless system? Whatever the reason, the reality is that the crisis is becoming increasingly alarming. The reality shows that the number of homeless people in Antelope Valley increased by 42% in just 1 year. There are more than 6,672 homeless people in this area, but only 1,057 people are accommodated in the major cities. More than 5,615 people are left behind, forced to live in areas without the minimum conditions for survival. What is really happening in Los Angeles? Let's continue to find out together. It is shocking to see Venice Beach overcrowded with homeless people. Once a tourist paradise with its long, picturesque coastline, Venice Beach is now filled with tents and trash. No longer are wealthy tourists frolicking and enjoying the luxurious beach view. Now homeless people wander among the million-dollar mansions. A terrifyingly stark contrast. The stench of urine pervades the air, hollow faces, filthy clothes. Those who once had homes, had jobs, now sleep rough on the streets, searching for food. Venice Beach is no longer a dream destination, but a symbol of a shattered American dream. Even more astonishing, the rusty mobile homes, shattered glass doors, and litter-filled streets. Venice Beach is turning into a massive slum right in the heart of luxurious California. Residents are angry, tourists are hesitant, businesses are struggling. No one wants to stroll on a beach filled with tents and foul odors. And the scariest part? There are no signs that this situation will end anytime soon. Can Venice Beach be saved? Or is this the end of one of America's most iconic beaches? Next, living in Los Angeles is much worse than you think. Everything is expensive. If you're not a millionaire, think carefully before dreaming about life here. $2,200 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. And that's just the average rent. And if you want to buy a house, prepare at least $700,000 if you don't want to be pushed out onto the street. Eating is also a formidable challenge. Every month, you will spend between $400 and $500 just to feed yourself. And if you think eggs are an affordable food, sorry. In Los Angeles, eggs cost over $9. Transportation, entertainment, internet bills. Adding at least $300 a month turns life here into a survival puzzle rather than a pleasure. Is Los Angeles worth the sacrifice? Even if you don't have a six-figure income, don't be too quick to rejoice because you might soon find yourself broke and on the list of the homeless that are rampant on the streets here. Because ironically, the minimum wage in LA is $14.25 an hour, but fast food is $16. What this means is that even if you work an entire hour, you still won't have enough to buy a burger. You heard it right. In this city, even a fast food meal is more expensive than a day's wage. Working tirelessly all day just to survive. With the skyrocketing prices of rent, food, fuel, and bills, this minimum wage is nothing more than a bitter joke. What are the consequences of these things? People have to work 2 to 3 jobs at once. Those with low incomes are pushed onto the streets, turning Los Angeles into the homeless capital of America. Does the American dream still exist, or has it become an expensive nightmare? Please share your feelings. We are waiting. Next, have you heard about the Zoo Tours tutoring service that is currently very popular? You will surely be amazed by it because it is only for the ultra-rich. In Los Angeles, where homeless people find it very difficult to get a meal, the ultra-rich are willing to pay up to $125 per hour just to have someone help their children with homework. Elisa Katz, a mother of 3 in Santa Monica, is making a fortune by connecting wealthy families with high-end tutors, also known as Zoo Tours. But don't think this is an ordinary tutoring service. This is a super assistant for the wealthy, from tutoring to taking the kids out to play during break time. Connection fee, $1,000. Hiring a tutor, $65 per hour, and some even pay $125 per hour. Total monthly cost? It can go up to $6,500. Almost the cost of renting a luxury apartment in LA. I want this for my child, and I will do anything to get it. A wealthy customer's statement reflects the growing wealth gap in American education. While millions of families tirelessly strive to buy books and pay tuition, wealthy children have a whole team of tutors taking care of everything from A to Z. So, is Zoo Tours just a premium service or a new symbol of educational inequality in Los Angeles? This issue has been highly debated on social media in recent days. Every day, every minute, every second, anyone can become homeless. That is a harsh truth that Los Angeles definitely doesn't want you to know. Have you ever imagined that after a lifetime of working, when you reach the age of 70, your home is not a warm house but a cold truck? That is the heartbreaking story of Mrs. Felisa, a woman over 70 years old who was once a hardworking, educated, and skilled laborer, but now has to struggle to survive in a park near Los Angeles Airport. She has no home, no hot meals, and not even a place to take a proper shower. Retirement money? Yes, but not enough. Housing for the elderly? Overcrowded, no room to squeeze in. Want to get a job? No one hires an elderly person, even if they have all the qualifications and experience. Those are the difficulties that Mrs. Felisa is enduring. Felisa once had a stable life, but then everything fell apart. She developed diabetes, which led to a series of dental problems that she couldn't afford to treat, and became homeless. However, she is still luckier than many others, because at least she has a truck to sleep in overnight. As an elderly citizen, Felisa cannot afford to rent an apartment. Even the housing for the elderly is too expensive for her. And she is not an isolated case. Over the next decade, the number of homeless elderly people in Los Angeles is expected to triple, and that is before the COVID-19 outbreak. Felicia's story is not unique. Thousands of elderly people in the US are becoming homeless simply because they are not rich enough to enjoy a comfortable old age. Meanwhile, the non-profit organizations established to help them merely make empty promises and continue to receive funding. So what has the government done to prepare for this crisis? The answer is almost nothing. Policymakers have had decades to address this significant demographic shift, but instead of strengthening the support system, the social safety net has been increasingly weakened. The programs that the elderly rely on to survive, such as subsidized housing, food, and healthcare, are continuously being cut due to political pressure. Now your voice is needed more than ever. If we do not solve the affordable housing crisis, homelessness will only get worse. Will society allow people like Felisa to continue being forgotten? Or is it time for us to speak up? Next, from being a valedictorian, graduating from a top university in the US, he also fell into homelessness. Once an outstanding student, graduating from the prestigious Yale University, working on Wall Street, the hub of America's top financial minds, Sean Pleasance had it all. A career, money, a luxurious home in Los Angeles. But today, he's left with only a tattered tarp by the roadside in Koreatown, Los Angeles. No home, no job, no future. You would be surprised how a financial genius could end up homeless, wouldn't you? It's heartbreaking. From the pinnacle of fame, he lost everything after just a few missteps. The company went bankrupt, finances depleted. This led to 6 years of him living on the sidewalk, along with his partner, who was also homeless. Is it possible that the American dream, is not for everyone? No one thought that those who once sat in the most prestigious lecture halls, who once ran million-dollar businesses, would one day wander the streets, waiting for a charity meal. Los Angeles is not only home to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, but also a place where thousands of dreams are buried in despair. In conclusion, from those who once had everything, prestigious degrees, stable careers, to the elderly and the sick, anyone can fall to the bottom of society after just one incident. Every day, hundreds of new people fall into homelessness, turning this issue into a comprehensive crisis. When even top university graduates and successful entrepreneurs are pushed onto the streets, does the American dream still truly exist? Will Los Angeles be able to escape this quagmire, or will it forever be mired in a tragic glow? Please share your thoughts in the comments. We have tried to provide the most useful and accurate information, even though we cannot cover every aspect. Consider this a starting point for your journey of exploration and further learning. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.